Hello, this is Destridgnir, and these are the writings of Benjamin Franklin as collected and edited by Carl Japixi, entitled Fart Proudly. Um, there are some opinions contained therein that aren't mine, and while I do agree with Sir Benjamin Franklin, vast majority of the time, sometimes we do have some disagreements, so just contain that in mind. From the writings of Benjamin Franklin, on choosing a mistress, 1745. My dear friend, I know of no medicine fit to diminish the violent natural inclinations you mention, and if I did, I think I should not communicate it to you. Marriage is the proper remedy, is the most natural state of man, and therefore the state in which you are most likely to find solid happiness. Your reasons against entering it at present appear to me not well founded. The circumstantial advantages you have in view by postponing it are not only uncertain, but they are small in comparison with that of the thing itself, the being married and settled. It is the man and woman united that make the complete human being. Separate, she wants his force of body and strength of reason, he her softness, sensibility, and acute discernment. Together they are more likely to succeed in the world. A single man has not nearly the value he would have in that state of union. He is an incomplete animal, resembles the odd half of a pair of scissors. If you get a prudent, healthy wife, your industry in your profession, with her good economy, will be a fortune sufficient. But if you will not take this counsel and persist in thinking a commerce with the sex inevitable, then I repeat my former advice, that in all your amours you should prefer old women to young ones. You call this a paradox and demand my reasons. They are these. 1. Because they have more knowledge of the world and their minds are better stored with observations. Their conversation is more improving and more lastingly agreeable. 2. Because when women cease to be handsome, they study to be good. To maintain their influence over men, they supply the diminution of beauty by an augmentation of utility. They learn to do 1,000 services, small and great, and are the most tender and useful of all friends when you are sick. Thus they continue amiable, and hence there is hardly such a thing to be found as an old woman who is not a good woman. 3. Because there is no hazard of children, which irregularly produced may be attended with much inconvenience. 4. Because through more experience they are more prudent and discreet in conducting an intrigue to prevent suspicion. The commerce with them is therefore safer with regard to your reputation, and with regard to theirs, if their affair should happen to be known, considerate people might be rather inclined to excuse an old woman who would kindly take care of a young man, form his manners by her good counsels, and prevent his ruining his health and fortune among mercenary prostitutes. 5. Because in every animal that walks upright, the deficiency of the fluids that fill the muscles appears first in the highest part. The face first grows lank and wrinkled, then the neck, then the breast and arms, the lower parts continuing to the last as plump as ever. So that covering all above with a basket, and regarding only what is below the girdle, it is impossible of 2 women to know an old one from a young one. And as in the dark all cats are grey, the pleasure or corporal enjoyment with an old woman is at least equal and frequently superior, every knack being by practice capable of improvement. 6. Because the sin is less. The debauching a virgin may be her ruin, and make her life unhappy. 7. Because the compunction is less. The having made a young girl miserable may give you frequent bitter reflections, none of which can attend the making an old woman happy. 8. And lastly, they are so grateful. And to finish this recording out, some poetry by Benjamin Franklin. Who's the Ass? Once on a time it by chance came to pass that a man and a son were leading an ass. Cries a passer-by, neighbor, you're shrewdly put to lead an ass empty and trudge it on foot. Nay, quoth the old fellow, if folk do mind us, I'll e'en climb the ass and the boy mount behind us. But as they jogged on, they were laughed at and hissed, what 2 booby lubers on one sorry beast? This is such a figure as never was known, 'tis a sign that the ass is none of your own. Then down gets the boy and walks by the side, till another cries, what, you old fool, must you ride, when you see the poor child that's weakly and young forced through thick and thin to trudge it along? Then down gets the father, and up gets the son. If this cannot please, then we ne'er shall have done. They had not gone far, but a woman cries out, oh, you young graceless imp, you'll be hanged, no doubt. Must you ride an ass in your father that's grey, and foot it, and pick out the best of his way? So now to please all, they but one trick lack, and that was to carry the ass pick-pack. And when that was tried, it appeared such a jest, it occasioned more laughter by half than the rest. Thus he who'd please all, and their good liking gain, shows a great deal of good nature, but labours in vain. Time to learn, says Roger to his wife, my dear, the strangest piece of news I hear. A law, 'tis said, will quickly pass to purge the matrimonial class. Cuckolds, if any such we have here, must be to a man be thrown in the river. She smiled, cried, my dear, you seem surprised. Pray, hain't you learned to swim? Firm resolve. Some have learnt many tricks of sly evasion, and instead of truth they use equivocation, and eke it out with mental reservation, which is to good men an abomination. Our smith of late most wonderfully swore, that whilst he breathed he would drink no more, but since I know his meaning, for I think he meant he would not breathe whilst he did drink.